Hello, and welcome to the first video tutorial for the Greater Milwaukee Synod website. You can watch these in any order. You can watch them as many times as you want, but this is the first one I'm recording. So what I'm going to go over on this one is basically logging in and kind of just a basic run through of what the admin interface looks like and how it works. I'll go into more detail in a lot of these other things in other videos. This is just kind of a general overview. So first off, some terminology. What we're looking at right now is what I call the front end or the public facing site. The front end, basically whatever everyone else sees. You don't need to be logged in to see this. What I do is I'm going to open up another tab in my browser here, and I'm going to go and log into the back end or the administration area. I do this by going to milwaukeesynod.org/WP-admin. WP-ADMIN. So now when I visit this site, if I'm not already logged in, it'll give me my login screen. Everyone should have a username and password that if you don't, let me know. You can always go through and request or lost your password here. And what it'll do is it'll send an email with your password to your email address. So now, since I'm the only one using this computer, and just to save a step later on, I'm going to click on the Remember Me. And then what I'll have to do is then I don't need to see the screen. Next time I go to WP-admin, it'll just automatically log me in. Don't check this if you're on a public computer or a computer where, other people use it or that other people might want to log into their account. So now I'm going to click on the login. I put in my username and my password, and I click the login button. And now it brings me to the dashboard. The dashboard is kind of a run through on what is all on the site. It kind of gives me my Google Analytics, kind of right now. I actually, can see if there's any drafts, etc. All of this is customizable. Each of these has a little header, and I can move them around. Because I gave everyone a specific login, you can change these and move these things around and even hide them by clicking on this little arrow. And then they just show up as just a little header right here. You can do all these changes that you want, and this is going to remember these changes next time you log in. So everyone can have a dashboard that looks different than everyone else's. This is just how I like this. I can see the responses to the forms right away. I can see the Google Analytics, etc. There's also a button up here on the top right called Screen Options, as well as it's right next to the Help button, which allows me to actually check on and off. If I really don't want to see something, or if I want to see something, I can turn these on and off, and they'll just show up there. And I can also put in 3 columns. I have a larger monitor. Why not? I stick with 2, so just in case. But you can go through and change as many of these things as you want. And like I said, it's going to save them just for your user and not everyone else's user. So set it up to how you like it. Next, I'd like to draw your attention to the left side. This is kind of the bread and butter of this admin area. All of the things on the site can be, accessed and changed by these categories here on the left. The main ones, and you may see more on my screen because I'm what's called a super administrator, because I administer to all of the sites on the server. You might not see as many, for example, appearance and plugins or maybe users, etc. But the main ones that you'll need will show up. The main ones are posts, events, church directory, job postings, pages, and then sometimes in the media here. Everything else, settings, appearance, these are things like what theme it's using, or, setting up, for example, the Google Analytics and kind of the back end stuff that you may not need to worry about. The main portions are over here on the kind of near the top. Then there's also, I want to draw your attention to this WP file base. That's another one. So all of the PDFs, the Constitution and bylaws, all of those and the documents and stuff that are uploaded, those can be found in the WP file base here down at the bottom. That's the only one that's kind of not up at the top that's important. And a lot of these, they're broken up into categories. Some are self-explanatory. Events. Obviously, that is going to control all of the upcoming events. So, and same thing with job opportunities is all controlled by posts that are posted in the job postings. Church directory, etc. The two that are a little bit harder to differentiate are between posts and pages. Pages are basically make up a majority of the site. For example, what we do is a page. I can click in to campus ministry, and this is another page. Same thing here, anti-racism, another page. What basically a page is it's got a template. So all of this is kind of the template that's around this page. And then basically this photo here and this text in the main body area, this is that one editable portion of the page. A post can have multiple, content blocks on a page. For example, the news and stories. Because this is basically a collection of a lot of different posts. Posts are very similar to pages, but as opposed to just having one block of text surrounded by the template, posts can be categorized and tagged. And then there's basically these little blurbs. And so, for example, under news and stories, this shows all the posts that are under news, current events, general, global partners, etc. But then I can also go through and see all of the ones that are tagged with a specific tag. So think of the post like a blog where you can have a collection of these entries and then you can sort them. The most generally are going to be sorted by date posted because the newest stuff is usually the most relevant. It's just like a blog or a weblog or a journal, etc. etc. But pages are just one block of information. We'll go more into posts and pages in a future video, as well as I'll break out each of these posts or categories or menu items into separate videos, so to keep them nice and short. Hope that is helpful. Stay tuned for the next video.